Hey, everybody. Welcome to the second episode of, what do we call the show?
The show's The Real Digital Versatile Disc Hour.
Yes, the Real Digital Versatile Disc Hour. I knew that. I just wanted Doc to, say it like last time. Might as well keep up with tradition.
Sure, yeah. Sharing the introduction responsibility.
Yeah, I didn't forget
is a great way to do it.
I didn't forget the name of the show.
I know you didn't. We know you didn't.
But welcome back. If you saw the first episode and you were so enthralled by what we were doing that you decided to join us for the second episode, or hey, if this is your first episode, that's fine.
More to watch. You can watch this one and then watch the back catalog as well.
Yeah, it'd be swell if you watch the first episode because we do cover a lot about what this show is about. So I don't think it's a super complex show, but I'd like people to be informed about what we're doing here, of course,
Sure, and the general idea is, of course, we pick DVDs available right now today, available through the Allen County Public Library up in the AMM section, and just highlight them for you at home that you can come down and check out whenever you'd like. These DVDs are available for you.
Yes. And I still don't believe this sometimes, but like you said last time...
Absolutely free.
Absolutely free.
Absolutely free. You don't have to go out and buy a Criterion Collection DVD. You can get them right here at the Allen County Public Library. We have quite the selection. Yeah,
I mean, there's nothing weird about signing up for the library card. It's very standard stuff.
Sure.
Nothing... It's just like your address. I don't think we take social security number, I believe. I think. I mean, you could give it to us if you want to, but I don't think we need it.
We don't need it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's free. And like you said, I mean, if you keep it a little long, you might get a little late fee, but I mean, 7 days for a DVD.
Sure, and you can renew them up to 5 times so long as nobody else has a hold on it.
Yeah. I mean, how many hours is in 7 days? What's the math on that?
Wow. Too many to count.
Yeah.
Over well over 100.
Yeah, I think it is well over 100. If I had to guess.
Well, there's plenty of hours in 7 days. It's a whole week. Plenty of hours in a week, and you can do that 5 times.
Yeah, and you're talking about a DVD that's 90 minutes. You can definitely squeeze some time in those 7 days. I think the library was just, as with most things, dead on with their choice on like how long to let people take these DVDs home with them. And that is what we want. These DVDs in your home, in your DVD players.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Anything we can do to get these DVDs or any of the DVDs in the library system into your hands, into your players, your DVD players, that's what we want to do. That's what we want to do. Anything we can do to make that happen, you can bet that we'll do that.
Cool.
Yeah.
And there's a couple things we wanted to address. If you didn't see the first episode, maybe this won't be as meaningful to you. I know Doc has something he wants to say, but there's something I want to say too. I'll jump ahead and then you can do yours. A lot of people, I got some comments about, hey, Jake, you were kind of looking off camera a lot. What's going on? You kind of like furtively glancing around. I'm just a little bit fidgety by nature. There's nothing going on off camera. There's no one telling us what to do. There's no one watching, no one telling us what to say or anything like that. I'm just a little bit I got nervous tics. It's fine. Some people are fidgety. I'm a little fidgety. And yeah, there's nothing going on.
Nothing to worry about. At home, no need to worry. And those of you at home may have worried or may have picked up that I've been a little bit nervous already on this episode.
Yeah.
And that's because I'm gonna go off script here. I hope you don't mind.
Okay.
Speak from the heart.
As long as you don't get too off script.
No. I'll make it quick. Okay. It's just that I made a mistake. I made a mistake last episode in which I explicitly stated that the library does not circulate VHS tapes.
That's right.
I explicitly stated that, and it's since come to my attention that that's not true. We have over 160 tapes available in our storage section, available for you to check out, available for public circulation. I did not know about these tapes. They just recently came to my attention. They're just they're put away in our storage section
Safely and securely.
safely and securely. There's over 160 of them, and I missed the boat when I said that it wasn't the case. That the case was that we didn't have VHS tapes, and I feel awful, and I am so sorry. I want you to trust me. You come here for my opinion and for factual information, and I've failed you this time, and to show how sorry I am, I would like to anyone who would so like it, if you request it, send into the show and request it. I would like to. It would be my pleasure to write a handwritten apology note directed towards you and delivered towards you, expressing my sincere apologies.
And you said you would pay for like first class postage on that as well.
Yeah, if it's, I got to see what's in the show's budget, but first class postage, but some sort of postage. It's going to get to you. It's going to be handwritten by me, expressing my sincerest apologies about this blunder, because this whole thing here is about you trusting us to give you good information, and I failed, and I want to show that that's not going to happen again.
Yeah, I just like to say that it's really big of you to own up to that.
Yes.
I know we did get, speaking of letters, we did get a lot of letters about that. And, we could have tried to sweep it under the rug, but, we want to be honest with people out there, and they need to know they can trust us. Exactly. And, I think we, and especially you, are doing the right thing in this instance.
I appreciate you acknowledging that.
Yeah.
And I hope you at home can acknowledge that as well. And if you would like a handwritten letter by me to you stating my apology, it would be my pleasure to do that for you. And this will be, I'm going to reiterate this, handwritten. This is not email. This is not instant message. Handwritten.
Awesome. Speaking of email, though, we did have a patron reach out to us and ask about, coming on the show. And we thought that'd be a great idea. So we would like to tell you guys that we do have a guest today. He's not going to be joining us just yet. I just thought that it'd be cool to sort of tease that here at the top of the episode, as it were.
All right, Jake. Well, how about we jump into it?
Yeah, because we got some stuff happening at the end, so we might as well get into our DVDs. And if you guys didn't see episode 1, Doc went first last time, so we decided we'd switch up the order this time.
Keep it fair.
So I'm going to go first, and the DVD that I brought to the table this time is Breathless by Jean-Luc Godard. Hopefully I'm pronouncing his name right. I'm not incredibly well-versed in French. But Breathless is a movie from 1960, and it's, I don't know if it's Jean-Luc Godard's first film, but it's certainly one of his earlier ones, and more important, if people don't know very much about cinema, there was this thing called the French New Wave in like the late 50s and early 60s, where these French filmmakers were sort of doing this rebellious filmmaking thing where they were just going out on the streets with cameras and barely any budget, and they were just shooting stuff, and they were breaking format. If you've never seen Breathless before, the editing is very experimental. There's literal jump cuts and scenes. Like, maybe these days the kids out there are used to the jump cuts with the YouTube and all that. But, I mean, this is a film from 1960. Godard was, I think, a little bit ahead of the curve on that one. But, yeah, so this is one of the iconic French New Wave films. And, the library obviously has great taste. We have, as I mentioned last time with Chungking Express, the library has an extensive foreign film selection. And I got to say, the way they organize that particular shelf, I just adore, because they have the films grouped by where they came from and in alphabetical order. When I went to go get this DVD, because I knew this is what I wanted to do for the show, I just walked over to the French section, went to the B's, bang.
Easy as
got
that.
It's so well organized. It's unbelievable.
We do our best to make it as easy as possible for our patrons.
Up at AMM. I got that one down now.
Yes.
Arts, Media, and Music. Arts, Music, and Media.
Arts, Music, and Media.
Really undercut myself by trying to go for the full thing there.
You got it. You got it right.
Yeah, so I love the foreign section. It's so good. Some people call them international films these days. Whatever's appropriate. But Yeah, so we like to mostly focus on the DVD aspect of like what you're getting with the actual DVD and the features and stuff on it. But I would like to talk a little bit about like what the film's about and stuff. And it's a really interesting film because the would-be protagonist of the film, Mikkel, is kind of a scumbag, for lack of a better term. And it's another thing that makes the film a little bit revolutionary, I think, was this guy is a true, I wouldn't even fully call him an anti-hero. He's just kind of a bad dude, but he's the guy that we're following around. And, I think these days people have seen, more modern stuff like Breaking Bad and The Sopranos and all of that, which we do have television series,
we have a ton of
DVDs as
them.
well. So if that's more your speed, we've got a ton of that stuff too. But people are used to a more like bad dude being the hero of the story, or at least just watching them and their downfall. Scarface is one of my go-to examples for that type of movie where we watch the rise and fall of a guy who's maybe not the greatest dude ever, but it's a fascinating figure. And the guy does have a lot of charisma. I will say I didn't do a great job memorizing the people's names, but thankfully I have the DVD right here and I can just look at the cast.
One of the great things about DVDs.
Jean-Paul Belmondo is the lead, Mikkel, and Jean Serberg. I'm butchering that, but you guys get the idea. She plays Patricia, the girl that Mikkel is kind of after and supposedly in love with. It's hard to tell, and I'm not going to spoil too much about it because I want you guys to come in and get this DVD for yourselves so you can check it out. But yeah, I mean, the story is about he's like a thief. There's a girl that he's after. She's not sure. He's obviously exciting, and it's very. The thing also with this film and Godard is it's very improvisational by nature. A lot of the scenes are just them walking and talking, or them laying in bed and talking, or they're in an apartment and they're going back and forth and they're just saying like whatever comes into their head. And you get a lot of really almost iconic lines and memorable moments just from their little back and forths. And the chemistry is great. It's just like a really nice little window into this turning point in movies in general. And I think that's why the library obviously stocks this one, because this is an important film, regardless of whether it's a film that you fully fall in love with. Watching this film reminded me a lot of experiencing the Beatles for the first time. I hate to disparage anyone's music taste, but the Beatles are not for me. I don't like them very much. That being said, I understand that they're integral to the history of music. They have influenced everything that has come after. Nothing would probably be the same if it weren't for the Beatles, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate this film in the same way.
In a lot of ways, you could chop up the history. There was French cinema pre-Breathless and after Breathless. It was really a game changer.
But I'm not gonna spoil too much of the story. It's kind of a crime thing. It's kind of a romance. If you're into that kind of stuff, and especially if you're into French film, like this is something. It's basically required viewing if you would consider yourself a cinephile or anything along those means. And I never mean cinephile as a dirty term. I think it's fine to love movies.
Sure.
As long as you're not mean to people about it, then,
Yeah, no, that's great.
But this DVD in general is amazing. Unfortunately, I do know that if you bought the Criterion for yourself, it would have the booklet, and the booklet is very informative. That's literally looking up information about it. It has the treatment from Truffaut in the booklet that the movie was based on. So unfortunately, this doesn't have that. Some of the booklets don't make it through.
They get lost along the way. But let me tell you, we're at a library. You can find a book on Breathless and Godard in general, just like that. Probably Truffaut's treatment is somewhere around here in the library. So,
probably.
So if it's between going out and buying the Criterion collection release of Breathless or coming here, getting as much literature as you could imagine on the French New Wave and cinema in general, along with the Breathless DVD.
I believe it is up. Is it not in AMM that they have rows and rows of books.
Rows and rows of them.
Of directors.
Oh, yeah.
Any director.
So don't go out and buy it. Come here to the library. We want you here. We want you to check these DVDs out.
You check out the DVD and literally wander 20 feet in another direction, and there's any director. If you want a book on Godard, I promise you, we have tons of it. And although, unfortunately, there is a limit to how many DVDs you can take, I don't think that counts towards your book total at all.
Books, as many as you can carry, and then some.
Yeah, if you want to bring a wagon, then that's totally fine.
Then some.
And then some.
Wagon them out and then some, Yeah. There's no limit.
And but the DVD itself it's got a lot of stuff on it. Not one, but 2 discs. Very tasteful discs too, red and blue. Love the primary colors. And I mean, man, every time I pick these up, I'm just like, come on, like it doesn't get any better than holding the DVD in your hands. Streaming just doesn't compare. And if you're streaming, you're not going to get the archival interviews with the lead actors and the director, the French theatrical trailer, new and improved English subtitle translation. So I don't know if that's carried over to the streaming or whatever. Probably, but
well, it depends. You never know. But you do know with the DVD because you can read the back of it.
It says it right here.
Yeah.
It's guaranteed. And then on the second disc, there's a full documentary about the making. The documentary is like longer than the film is, and video essay from filmmakers about this. I mean, this is obviously an iconic movie, so there's a lot of to do about the film. So of course, there's a lot of surrounding people. People love talking about this film, so a lot of supplementary things have been made about it, and a lot of it can be found right on this DVD. But I think hopefully that's enough to entice people towards Breathless, or at least towards the French section of AMM, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's all I'll say about Breathless. It's great. It's iconic. It's a very important piece of filmmaking history, and that's what we do here at the library. We preserve the things that should be preserved,
and make them available for you to check out.
Yeah, and like we said, turns out we have VHSs still. Not to bring up old wounds or anything, but
we do. We have VHS. We have over 160 of them in storage.
Did you ever find out about the Betamax?
No Betamax.
Okay.
I'm confident now. See, I'm learning. I learn stuff every day about the library. There's so much to know. And again, I am so sorry that I was wrong last episode about the VHS tapes.
But let's talk about your pick. I think I got a little serious about the French New Wave there, but I think you've got a much more fun pick to tell the people about.
I do. It's a little bit more fun. I don't know about that.
And also,
it's a fun pick, but
you're appropriately themed and dressed for it too.
You might be wondering why I'm wearing a pink suit. I'll get to that in a moment. It has to do with my pick, and that is, oddly enough, another French film. Goes well with Breathless, maybe a little bit more modern. That's the Pink Panther 2, starring Steve Martin. We don't have this in the French section. We have it in comedy, and actually, most of it,
I think
if I recall, it all is in English.
Yeah, it transcends the need to be quality. I mean, of course it does in the comedy, because that's just
Steve Martin, Pink Panther. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, so Pink Panther 2 is my pick, and that's why I'm wearing the pink jacket. Yes, and to say it transcends, it's a mixture of different things, because I will say, I got my diagnostics, my doc's diagnostic notes here on the movie about how I felt about it, and I do have to say, it is a French film without a doubt. However, it was produced by Hollywood heavyweights, MGM and Columbia Pictures. But its narrative and main characters have their roots firmly in France and French culture. And so in that way, it's not at all a stretch to consider this here a French film. So The Pink Panther 2, it stars Steve Martin as French Inspector Jacques Clouseau, who is tasked with leading a dream team of international detectives on the case of a mysterious hot ticket item thief called the Tornado. And this tornado, stole the Shroud of Turin, the Magna Carta, an important Japanese imperial sword, a lot of very titillating items But the real narrative delight lies in the interpersonal turmoil Jacques Clouseau navigates as his professional responsibilities bumps odds and uglies with his personal responsibilities and desires. Now, I do want you to come and check this movie out, but I do also want to be honest with you and be upfront with this. I am not over the moon with this movie.
This has been a very honest episode.
Yeah, no, I'm not over the moon with the movie. That's right. Doc's top picks. This one is not on the list.
Okay.
Not a Doc top pick. First of the series, actually. The first time one of my picks is not on my top picks.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not worth someone's time.
No, and I'm going to do my best to sell you on this still, but I just want to be honest with you. I don't want you getting it home and thinking that I would vouch for this, stake my reputation on it being one of the best films ever, because it's not. I'm not over the moon with this film. I'm just simply not over the moon with it. I think it's a decent film, but I'm not over the moon with it. And I wanted to pull it from the collection and highlight it for you viewers, because it is a competent movie, at least. It's a competent movie, and it does have a few truly remarkable scenes. And this is in contrast to the original film in the reboot series, the Pink Panther 1, which is an atrocious movie that I did not laugh at even once when I went to see it in the theater. And it's supposed to be a comedy, and I didn't laugh once. I hated the movie.
I don't know if it qualifies as a comedy then.
Well, I didn't laugh. I mean, maybe other people laughed, but I did not laugh. I did not like it. And so I worry that some of you at home might have seen the first one and then, understandably, avoided the sequel as if it was a plague. But I'm here to tell you that that is not the case. It is a decent film worth a watch, and I think Peter Sellers laid still in his grave when this one came out, after what was surely a tiresome bout of the rollies during Steve Martin's Pink Panther 1, the first in the series. I think he was rolling in his grave. I think he had a serious case of the rollies with the first one, but I think at most, because again, I'm not over the moon with this movie, maybe a twitch in the toe. But it's I don't know, maybe not even a twitch in the toe.
Okay.
But I just want the
wanted
viewers
to know how serious it was.
Well, I don't even know if there was any movement at all.
Okay, so that's pretty good.
I think so. I think at most there's a twitch in one of his toes.
Okay.
But it is a good movie still. I laughed in this one, the Pink Panther 2, Steve Martin's Pink Panther 2. I did laugh a handful of times, and there are a few scenes that I would consider peak comedic cinema.
Okay.
And one such scene, I gotta share this. It involves Jacques Clouseau in a bumbling blunder for the books. He really gets into something here. He accidentally knocks 100 or so wine bottles off of a rack, and unwittingly gets an entire restaurant, the customers there, the wait staff, the host even, to help juggle the wine bottles in the air, and they don't break a single one of them. 100 of wine bottles, come down off the rack, he's throwing them, and they're all juggling it there in the restaurant. Actually, unbeknownst to him, it's unbeknownst to him that it's all juggling.
They're even laughing now just talking about it.
Well, it's so bizarrely funny.
Okay.
Hundreds of wine bottles up in the, because he went over he wanted to pick his own wine. He got in some trouble there.
Okay.
But he saved himself because all the wine survived the juggling. It's you got to see it. It's so funny. And then not a single one broke yet. A single one is all it took for Clouseau to do a little bit of a trip and double the trouble. And I won't give away any more.
Oh.
But
you'll have to come rent it and find out for yourself.
Yes, it's phenomenal.
That's quite the tease.
It's hilarious. A real comedy of errors. You got to see it to believe it. You got to come to the Allen County Public Library, check out the Pink Panther 2. It's full of very funny moments like that. And I should also talk about Steve Martin, who delivers what is probably the funniest performance of his career.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's very funny. Of Steve Martin.
Very classic comedic actor.
Classic is the key word there. Okay, it's an absurd kind of humor that relies heavily on the classic and the slapstick.
Yes.
Sort of a vintage humor, a vintage, very physical humor, that if one squints, I'll say this, if one squints, Steve Martin almost could be mistaken for a missing sixth Marx brother, or maybe it's a Marx cousin.
Do we have Marx Brothers films here at the library?
We do, and my personal opinion, check that out before these, because this is just the sixth. What I would say, if you squint, the sixth Marx brother, or maybe even a Marx cousin. We do have the original Marx brother films, though.
Awesome.
So you could check that out. And so I call him a Marx cousin, maybe, because the wit's there, the physicality is on point, but it does lack a bit of bite. He doesn't quite have the sting of the vaudeville Fab Five. But for a late period MGM comedy, you're not going to get better than Steve Martin's Jacques Clouseau in the Pink Panther 2. And now, I do need to add a disclaimer on this one.
Okay.
There is a recurring bit involving a political correctness counselor, which sometimes pushes the jokes into a racist or misogynistic territory. So you can understand why I'm not quite over the moon I was talking about earlier with this film. But other than those jokes, which they fall flat, they're terrible, they shouldn't be in there. But other than that, like the wine bottle scene I was talking about earlier, the jokes are on point. To wrap up, the Pink Panther, of the two films in the reboot, this one is the gem, or should I say, Pink Panther gem. Yes, it's worth the watch. The first one, not so much, but the second one.
I see why you write out these diagnoses. You get to work in like really clever little turns of phrase.
I didn't want to forget that one.
Yeah.
So it's worth a watch. Come down to the Allen County Public Library and check it out today. And two French films, one of great historical importance, and one that's a decent film, a decent French film from a more modern French film.
Mm-hmm.
I think, how nice would it be? Pick yourself up some French cheeses and croissants. Check out
some wine,
some nice French wine.
Mm-hmm.
Check out Breathless. Check out the Pink Panther 2, and have yourself a très chic double feature.
Well, I didn't know you spoke French.
I had to look it up.
Okay.
But a très chic double feature.
Wow. Whoa, all I know.
So while I was watching, I've been watching quite a bit of French cinema.
Yeah, I know bonjour and fiend, classic fiend at the end of Breathless.
Fiend, yes.
Not like a joke. This one that we were still doing fiend seriously. I think so. That's always fun to see.
Bonjour and ciao. Don't forget about ciao.
Chevalet. I use the little app to learn French. I think that means horse or something. But speaking of horse, we got to get on our horses, and I think it's about time to maybe introduce our guest, if we would be so bold. So, hey, why don't you... Yep, nope, you can come.
Now's the time.
Yep.
Yeah. Tell you what, I'll move. You can stand where I was standing. Yep, you can come out now.
I mean,
now's the time. Here we are. We got the guest is coming on now.
Yeah, I mean, he was coming earlier when we didn't tell him to come, and now he's not coming, so I don't know.
This is live to tape, so anything can happen. Live to tape, anything can happen.
I think he's coming. Okay,
so here is our guest, library patron Scott.
Hey.
Oh, hello.
Hey.
It's great to have you. We're so happy that you had interest in coming onto our show to talk about all the great disc-based media that we have to offer here at the library.
Yeah, that's we love. I mean, it's the real digital
versatile
disc hour. I didn't forget it. We love highlighting DVDs, and we'd love to have a patron come on and tell us about a DVD that he loves. So
I can't wait. What'd you bring?
Yeah.
What'd you bring?
I've got my DVD right here, and you might be shocked. You're looking at this and you say, well, library patron named Scott, look at this. This is not a DVD. This is not a case. This is not a disc. This is a printout from Hoopla.com of a film.
Okay.
And Hoopla is a wonderful service bringing you standard definition films, television, audiobooks, and even music right to your home, wherever you have an internet connection. And you can check things out. You can listen and watch them, stream them. And it's kind of like having a nice little portable library with you wherever you are with an internet connection.
The library does offer that.
Yeah,
And that's a great service, but maybe not appropriate for this show, which we do like to highlight the physical.
I would agree with you, but we're here now. And I mean, it is a movie. I mean, we probably have a copy of it here at the library, I would imagine.
I would recommend streaming it personally.
Okay.
And the thing is that I know that on the Disc Hour show, such as it is, these folks, they're just nutso about the disc. And I understand that as a fan of Hoopla. And what I like to do is keep in mind...
Well, maybe you ought to start a show about Hoopla.
Yeah, you could do that.
Well, I understand you guys are associates, you're employees of the library, and I feel so welcomed as a mere patron.
Versatile Disc Hour.
Yeah.
And listen, I grew up in a disc-based household. I watched VHS, and I watched which are like a disc. They have you have to rewind it. It still rolls and spins.
I love the physicality of the VHS, which we do have available here.
And the wonderful thing about the library, that free Wi-Fi connection, go right on your phone, bring your laptop, bring your tablet, perhaps an iPad, and just check something out right on Hoopla right from the library. We have such wonderful
that the
chairs.
Library offers. This was highlighting one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And
this show was meant to highlight one of them.
I mean, are you saying like you would watch a movie like on your phone or something?
Oh, my favorite way to watch. Don't have to pause for the bathroom breaks.
Sure. Yeah. Why don't you tell us about your selection?
The Postman Always Rings Twice. That's what I've got for you today. The 1981 adaptation. That's the fourth adaptation, second one in English. It was written for the screen by David Mamet, and it's an interesting picture streamed for you in beautiful SD right there on Hoopla. Could be one of your 10 checkouts.
I'm sorry, did you say SD?
Yeah, wonderful standard definition Hoopla provides.
Okay.
Directed by Monkey's creator and head director himself, Bob Rafelson. Written for cinemas by David Mamet, 6 years before his own House of Games. From the novel by James M. Cain of Mildred Pierce fame. Shot by Sven Nykvist, the Bergman friend. Musicked by Michael Small, who the previous year scored Ursula K. Le Guin's Lathe of Heaven for television. Cut by Graham Clifford, edit man for Don't Look Now and Rocky Horror Picture Show. Starring Jack Nicholson, Bob's own co-writer for Head, and starring Jessica Lange. Francis Farmer for Postman's editor, Graham Clifford's directorial debut, Francis. Let's see. Pardon me, I'm going to get some water.
In the future.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I guess I probably should have read that email a little closer.
Jack Nicholson is a drifter by the name of Frank Chambers, who hitches with Chris Lloyd to a Greek gas pump diner.
I hate to interrupt you, but
Okay.
where are you getting all this information from?
Oh, just using the wonderful resources on the Hoopla webpage for the film. They
Okay.
list the actors.
I mean, a lot of times
the
on
players.
DVDs, it kind of has that stuff on the back of it, the stuff that you got written down.
No, I always,
It's nice because it's nice and portable. It's going to be with you where you're watching the movie. You don't have to carry a laptop along or anything like that. It's all kind of self-contained. The movie and the information is self-contained in the disc. It's really a wonderful thing. It's really a wonderful thing.
And not to cast any aspersions, but my mother always told me don't judge a DVD by its cover, and that includes the back cover.
Sure, but it's nice to have it there.
To tempt you to judge it, I strongly disagree.
It's just nice if you like the movie already and you're looking for a little bit more information about it, contextual information. The DVD is a great place to look. The DVD menu. How are the menus on Hoopla?
Oh, the interface is wonderful.
The menus for the individual films.
Yeah, like when
it's quite simple. There's a borrow button, and once you've borrowed it, you can hit play.
Oh, so you kind of get less movie, right? Because you're saying you don't get a specific menu for the movie that you're streaming.
Yeah, you can borrow it, and then once you've borrowed it and it's checked out, you can play. But then you can also choose another option. You could return it just immediately right after borrowing it, just for fun. You could also,
but I mean, a
close
unique
window,
to the movie, unique to the movie you're streaming, more than just the thumbnail and the synopsis.
Well, let me go on. You can close the window, close the tab, minimize the window. Then you kind of make the window full screen, and then you can even make the film reels full screen, and it looks just like a theater in your own home.
And standard depth.
Beautiful standard definition, which I'll get to, but that was actually one of my favorite parts of the film.
Okay. Why don't you... Sorry I interrupted you. Why don't you continue on?
Jack Nicholson's a drifter by the name of Frank Chambers, who hitches with Chris Lloyd to a Greek gas pump diner. He grifts them out of eggs. He sees Jessica Lange, who is beautiful, and then slowly, for 2 hours, they both ruin their lives. Jack is a hungry man, walking slow, hungover on something he doesn't remember drinking. Jessica, desperate, doomed. The downward spiral slows at times, but some devil somewhere always speeds the plow. It's photographed by Sven Nykvist in golden browns that give way to rust and to dust. It glows dimly. It's streamed by Hoopla in a wonderful and soft compression. The characters fall apart at their edges, streaming over the air, compressed, low res. He always rings twice.
That was a wonderful review.
Thank you.
About the movie, which I would love to check out sometime on DVD, because actually quite a bit of what you were describing sounded like unintentional artifacts of streaming.
Oh, and it adds so wonderfully to the characters. When they were shooting in film back in the day, film, it's not like digital cameras. You don't really know what you're going to get. They would have to develop the film quickly for the dailies the next day, and even that didn't look like what it would look in the theater, and then that itself looked different than the television edit, the VHS, the Laserdisc, and what have you. Each one could be colored differently, actually. And so it beautifully symbolizes their alienation from meaning, the characters in the film. How far we are from the server, the disc spinning up the film for us, they are that far away from purpose, from long, they long for some home within themselves.
But hey, thank you so much for coming on, Scott.
Oh, thanks. I love being here. I love Hoopla. I love streaming.
Yeah, that's
really a great review.
Yeah,
and it has got me interested in the film, and I can't wait to jump on to the ACPL app to see if we have this on DVD or Blu-ray.
Thanks. I'm so glad to hear it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you again.
But me and Doc are gonna wrap up the show.
Okay, great.
You're gonna stand there. That's fine. Hey.
No, we'll wrap up the show. Thank you. That was a great review. Thank you for taking the time.
That's all, folks.
Yeah.
We'll see you later, Scott.
That really was a great review.
I think they still got
you have a great.
They've got your seat back there. If you
have a great critical mind for film watching. But that's not a DVD. That's not a DVD, and the show is about disc-based media that the library offers.
The hard disk and the servers.
The hard disk and the servers, that is nowhere near you. I prefer to have the disc sitting there in my living room. So thank you. Thank you. How's it? You go check the case of that disc in the server? You go.
I sure will.
No. Okay.
Hey, thanks to Scott for coming on the show. Like we said, if you have an interest in coming on the show, I think we even talked about starting our own call-in line. Maybe we can screen those. And you can email us, you can call us, leave us a voicemail, leave us an email, write us a letter.
If you are interested in being on the show, we do ask now that in advance you tell us your pick, your DVD pick.
Just so we can better prepare.
And we'll have it ready for you here when we go to shoot.
Yeah, we know how to navigate the trenches. So
Yep.
if that's something that's intimidating to you, we can take care of it ourselves.
I'm up in AMM every week. I'd be happy to pull the disc for you off the shelf. So just let us know. We'd love to have you on as a guest, talk about the DVDs, any versatile disc-based media that we have available for you. A ton of it we have available for you here at the Allen County Public Library, and this show is about talking about those discs.
Yeah, and what's the name of the show again?
The name of the show is The Real Digital Versatile Disc Hour.
I just like hearing him say it. I know the name of the show.
Yes, you're right. We know you do. I know you do. The viewers at home know you do.
But I'm getting this. I think it's time for us to wrap it up.
I think so.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thanks to our lovely patron for coming on and
thank you to library patron Scott. It was a great film review.
He did mention how great some of the services of the library are, and we really appreciate that.
And they are great. It's just maybe it wasn't the appropriate place to discuss them.
Yeah.
So thanks for tuning in. This has been the second episode of The Real Digital Versatile Disc Hour.
It's better every time.
Yep. And I guess now we'll sign off.
See you guys later. Bye-bye.
Ciao.